Hey, so this is Editor Blaine. I feel like way too many of these videos start with Editor Blaine. Right there. There was a key to this. In editing this video, I noticed I have a problem saying And then, while editing this, I got this comment right here. So we're going to play a game. Every time I say during this video, we're going to count it. This is for two reasons. One, to help me be a better speaker. And two, because it's funny. And if you're gonna... If there's a joke, I don't care if I'm the punchline or not. It's funny. There's a lot of them. I noticed it. And then literally the next thing that popped on my phone was someone telling me I said too much, which I thought was hilarious. So, enjoy this week's episode.
Welcome to St. Martin. We're here again, still.
It feels like this has been our stopping ground 2 years in a row where we just kind of get stuck. It's either USVI or St. Martin. So, welcome to St. Martin.
But St. Martin's been good to us. It's a great place to find lots of boat supplies and provisions and new friends. We have made friends here, so that's good.
And absolutely nothing has happened in the 6 months. Nothing. That since we last posted our sailing videos. I mean, there's nothing going on in the world. There's nothing we've been a part of. It's
our life's been totally normal.
Boring. Boring is the way I describe it. We want to take you on tour of St. Martin. To do that, that's going to be like a super long video. But to give you the tour, we gotta drive there. We gotta show you the many sides of St. Martin, which has become one of our favorite islands. And to do that, we gotta talk about my dinghy.
And we all know Blaine has had dinghy problems since we got on this boat. Big dinghy problems.
So when we first started with my dinghy was soft, and it couldn't stay hard. And we decided together that it was time to spend the money and do the procedures needed. And we went and we got what we thought would be the permanent solution and got a hard dinghy that we could use. That didn't turn out to be a scam or anything else like that.
2 thumbs down.
There was nothing interesting about that dinghy at all other than it didn't work.
For anybody who's new here, look back a few videos. Lots of problems.
So even though I can now get my dinghy hard, it still wasn't doing the job, and nobody wanted to ride my dinghy. I
didn't even want to ride the dinghy.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So in our time of owning this boat and sailing around the world, it has been unfortunate to say that we've kind of had to rely on other men to give her rides to the store. And
I've been looking for other dinghies.
She has been looking for other dinghies. And in that quest, we have talked with a lot of companies. We have gone down a lot of avenues. And I do want to start by giving a shout out to OC Tenders. OC Tenders has been phenomenal to us. We have had many conversations, and they're such wonderful people that you do not realize you're on a long distance phone call to New Zealand until you get your phone bill a month later. I do want to give a shout out to OC Tenders. This video isn't about an OC Tender, but they're a great company, great people. And I just want to say that here. But then our friends in the boating community came together and they advocated for us, and they got us in touch with a doctor who can help me with my dinghy problem. And Dr. Greg,
thank you.
My dinghy's never been better. So for this video, we're going to take you on a ride on my dinghy and show you all the cool features of my dinghy, and why we're in love with this dinghy and why we think everybody should get one of these dinghies. There are some rules to social media and sponsorship and paid advertising. I don't know quite where this falls in, so I'm going to give this disclaimer. Mantis Marine, one of the best marine companies out there, gave us a discount on this dinghy. And and we have joined their ambassador program, but they have asked nothing of us. They have not asked us to film anything. They have not asked us to write a review. They've not told us to say anything. Basically, I think they took pressure from the boating community and said, let's help these guys out. I feel more like a charity than a sponsor.
Right.
And at no point has Greg or Philip or any of the cool people there at Vicky at Mantis hit us up and said, hey, you know,
You've
TikTok.
had this for a little while now. Why
Right.
have you not made a video?
And the other reason we haven't made the video is because at day one, I fell in love with my dinghy, and you ride my dinghy everywhere. But we wanted to make sure it wasn't like our last one, and it was a temporary happiness.
Temporary fix.
Right. But this one has been a long-term satisfying dinghy.
Yep.
So instead of talking about it, why don't I whip it out and show you my dinghy?
And what we're also going to do is keep in mind as you're watching this, we are still looking for a name for the dinghy.
Oh, yeah.
So we do have, for legality purposes, we do have our TT Cameo. It is a what tender? What is the
Tender 2.
Tender 2 Cameo. But like our old dinghy, which was named the Nigerian Prince, for, again, if you don't know, a few videos back. But keep in mind, we are still looking for a name for our dinghy. So as you watch this and we go through it, drop in the comments any thoughts or ideas you might have for a name for Lane's dinghy.
Right. Because after all, it was one of you that came up with naming that R2BQ, and that stuck.
Yep.
So we named our boat Cameo because we do want to go around the world just making little cameos at every little island. And that's named after R2BQ is named after. It doesn't have to be TV or movie themed. We're really not TV or movie people. But yeah, I'm looking forward to interesting ideas in the comments, especially once we show you my dinghy, because it's unique.
It is unique.
And it is awesome. And I can't wait to show it to you. So let's go. So here's my dinghy. This is the Mantis 104 rigid plastic dinghy. And everything about it was designed for a cruiser's life. Even this first part I'm going to show you right here, which is this flat step to step right into the boat. And you're in. I love the fact that there's seats. I love the fact that there's handles everywhere. We'll show you more of the features when we get to land, and we can walk around it and show it to you. But just the simple concept of getting in this dinghy has been amazing. So welcome to the Mantis 104, and we'll take you for a short ride right now.
Off we go.
So the first thing to notice is just how comfortable of a ride this is, especially if we sit where we're supposed to. The Mantis dinghy doesn't. The Mantis dinghy goes over waves like unlike any other dinghy we have. It goes through them. We stay dry. We stay flat. There's no bouncing. And we're there. Now, Marnie, turn and face me and show me how easy it is for you to just pull this right up on shore. And you beached. And that's with me in the boat. And that's one of the coolest things. It's got the wheels on the back, so it just rolls right on up. And for this demonstration, we're not going to pull all the way up on the track because I don't know when the kids from elementary school show up here. So the first thing with the Mantis that I love is the rubber bumper around it. For docks, for dinghy docks, your boat, other people's boats, it adds a thick enough layer to where height doesn't matter. It's not, you're not worried about the height of the dock or the height of other boats. It protects it. Mantis designed this too, where eventually they know these rubber rails will give out and get chipped up and get damaged. And they made it where they're universal size. They bolt on, and you just call them up and you say, hey, I need a new rubber rail. And they tell them how many you need and they send them out to you. Again, the other thing I love is the fixed oars.
Super easy. They just lock right into place. They're not on the floor of the dinghy getting lost or broken. They're just right there available for you when you need them.
Oh, fishies. The other thing that we love about this dinghy is the floor, like she mentioned. It's got this groove down the center. And speaking of the floor in this thing is designed with a trough down the middle. So all the water, instead of standing in water in a dinghy like you do with the normal flat bottom dinghy, it all runs down right to the drain plug back there. This has been awesome. I have never had drier feet than owning this dinghy. The grips down there work. Even these seating pads, I would if I was to ask to see if they come in different colors. They might have even asked me that, and I just chose black because it went with gray. But these do get hot when you sit on them in the sun. So we might make cushions for that. But even these seats, everything about this dinghy is customizable. And what I love about it is it looks like a G.I. Joe toy that somebody put in an X large array, right? It looks like something that would come with a G.I. Joe toy. I love it. The seats here unbolt and come out. So if you happen to be somebody stupid who, like carries 200-pound barbecues and washers and dryers onto your boat,
that guy,
I don't know who he is. This boat can do it. In a lot of dinghies, the gas tank also sits all the way in the back here because you don't want to be tripping over the fuel hose. Mantis ran their fuel hose into the sidewall of the dinghy itself, made a compartment for the fuel tank here.
Ours doesn't fit quite right because we did put a bigger fuel tank in there, and we'll have to kind of figure that out how we want it to sit.
I can strap it in, I just have to turn it sideways.
Correct. So that goes into the sidewall there, comes out the side.
Another feature I love about the Mantis, and sorry for the background noise, we are in a construction zone, but is the bags that come with the dinghy. Everything you see here comes stock. I did not buy any add-ons except for the wheels in the back. This is what comes stock for their base price, and their base price is really low. I'll put it on the screen here what their current price is. But I like it because I can keep my anchor chain and anchor right in here. I can keep all my oils for mixing two-stroke in there. There may or may not even be a hidden spot where we can give out cameo stickers when we need to. I'm not saying that we put them in any places because... but the pockets are really nice. But behind the pockets are actually access panels. And we first thought, well, why cover up the access panels with the bags if you want to put it with dry storage? But I opened it up. And what that allows us to do is what Mantis wants, is that's customizability, right? we're going to need some lights on the front of this. We want visibility. We want this to be our car, and we want to pimp our ride. These access panels open up to a hollow tube, so all of your wiring and stuff can run down your sides.
And there's multiple different places that you can access those panels to.
Correct. But these two square dry storages are actually dry storages. You can put your phone in there. So one of the reasons not to buy a Mantis is because if you're going to lose your phone, so you can get a new one, it's a lot harder to do in this boat. The fact that it's rigid plastic and it's not inflatable, or it's not carbon fiber or a chippous material, is it really does allow you to modify and adjust it for your way of life. Over the next couple weeks, you're going to be seeing that we're making a lot of modifications to this. There's a bimini that can come with this. We bought ours third party. And that's a shout out to the company Mantis, who told me, it's like, hey, for your lifestyle, for the way you live, I would recommend the Bimini over here versus the one that we sell. They weren't in it to make money. They were in it to make the cruiser's life better. Please excuse this oar. It's in here for some unrelated demo from before. The seats both come out, which gives you just so much more functionability. The one thing I would say is, being a short king myself, is this seat being a little lower than this seat has created a little bit of a visibility issue for me. But once we put
because I usually sit right here, and then he sits back here and drives.
But a problem we never had with any of our other dinghies is now all of our friends want to ride my dinghy. So we fill this thing up, and we have to put people in our dinghy, and I'm realizing my sight lines are a little off. I can't see everybody that's piled on my dinghy. So I am going to be making a cushion back here so that I can be up a little bit more. All of the handles are reinforced and locked in. This is our long-term solution. This isn't, we have to patch it or inflate it, or it's going to last us 4 or 5 years if we're lucky, or we have to worry about what happens if we bash it into a dock too hard. With this roto-molded plastic, Mantis even sent me the same type of plastic that they used and have shown me how to plaster weld. So let's say some idiot left his engine motor up and I'm at the dinghy dock and I get a puncture right there. Well, one, this boat is designed to float no matter how many holes are in it. They have taken this boat out, they have drilled holes all over the bottom, everywhere, and it still floats. It's designed to float even if it's filled with water. But if I get a cut in somewhere like this, Mantis showed me when I was in their factory how to take the plastic and how to use a device and plastic weld and then sand it back to normal. It is repairable for a layman. And that's what I can't speak enough about, is how Mantis has treated us and how Mantis treats all of its customers. They, again, this is going to sound like an ad. I'm not paid to do this. I've had this dinghy for 2 months and I'm in love with it. We take it everywhere. When the group of us boaters want to go somewhere, it's the first one that gets chosen. That's never been our situation. It's always been, please.
Hey, can we get a ride, please?
Right. So what is it you like most about it, Marnie?
I like, I think you had some other shots earlier. I like that I don't get splashed when we are driving wherever we're going. There's nothing worse than thinking that you're going out to a nice dinner and getting in the dinghy, hitting a wave, and suddenly your mascara is running down your face because you got totally doused with water while you were on your way to wherever it was you were going. So it's super nice. All the water, you know, there's a few times we get a few little dinky splashes, but compared to the old dinghy, I stay much, much drier. The other main thing that I really like is usually either on an inflatable dinghy or even the rigid dinghy we had before. There was no seats in the middle, so we were sitting on the sidewells. In an inflatable dinghy, I tend to bounce, and you have to really brace yourself more. And in the rigid dinghy that we had, you would hit those waves so hard that I literally felt like my spine was going to come out the top of my head, because you're just slamming down on that sidewall. Where here, like right where Blaine is where I sit, and I face forward. So I'm not like turned sideways. That's another weird thing in some of the other dinghies that we've had or ridden in, is you're always sitting sideways but looking forward to see where you're going. So being able to I just sit there like a bow princess and just stay dry. And I've really, really enjoyed that concept.
And I don't know if it's how they did the plastic. I don't know the science behind it, but you don't get compressed.
No.
On our old dinghy, it was just as rigid, just as firm. You felt even more safe on this one, more sturdy. Like, I feel like I can stand up here, no problem, right? And do as I need fit. And I'm not worried about these seats.
Right.
Right? On my old one, if I was to do this, the whole sidewall would crack. But for some reason, they designed this in a way that when you hit waves and you hit bumps, it doesn't hurt your back.
Now, the only thing that I can say about that, as we see right now, is now I'm going to be sitting in sand.
I'll get rid of the sand.
But yeah, and even that, like getting in and out of that right now, the sturdiness of being able to get in and out, it is very sturdy. It's not real tippy. Even when we're in the water, it is not real tippy, which is super nice. I have issues with depth perception really bad. So I'm very ginger about getting in and out of the dinghy. And I have become a lot more comfortable with this dinghy because it is so stable and not tippy. So that's another thing I really like. I'm super excited for the upgrades that we're going to be doing. Like Blaine said, there's going to be a bimini cover that we put on. One of the other things
save all the secrets for the Pimp My Ride video.
Oh, okay. So bimini, that's our only
secret.
That's our only secret that we're letting out. But if you have ideas of what we should do to the dinghy, we would love to hear them. So definitely comment if you have some fun ideas of what we could add or do with this dinghy.
And because of its stability and because of its weight, a lot of people look at the weight of this dinghy and they're like, "Oh, that's too heavy. I don't want it." One, with block and pulley systems on the back of most sailboats nowadays, it's easy for one person to lift this thing. We have a winch. Most boats nowadays have a winch, but if you don't, it still works with a block and string. It's not much heavier than another boat, but the extra weight does go to stability. So what I'm excited for is being able to sit right here and fall backwards and scuba dive without the whole boat coming with me, which we could never have done on our old dinghy.
And when you come back from scuba diving, we haven't tried it yet, but there are these little steps on either side. You can't see
I've climbed up the steps.
Oh, have you?
I've climbed up the steps. I haven't done it with scuba gear on, but I have climbed up the steps.
So there is a little step there. There are also, again, the reinforced handles. So we could also get a dinghy ladder to climb up as well if we need to.
The other thing Mantis did, you'll see it on the back of my engine here since it's up. Mantis knows we're stupid. I think if there was anything they learned when they talked to me, it's like, this guy's going to do dumb stuff with this dinghy. So they actually sent me a prop guard that came with the dinghy, because they know you're trying to beach it. That's why they added the wheels. That's why they have customization spots everywhere for you to do what you really want to do to this dinghy. And I could just say, like, this is our last dinghy. This should last us the next 10, 15, 20 years. If I owned a lake, I would want this on a lake. This would be a great fishing boat. It's not the Speed Demon jet ski of the water. It's not the big old center cockpit steering wheel high field of the water. What it is that perfect middle utilitarian. It's the Jeep of...
It's the grocery getter.
It's the grocery getter. We can fit so much stuff in it. Yesterday, I took Marnie, Keely to the grocery store, and they came back with like 6 sacks of groceries. They stayed dry.
It was barely an issue. It wasn't an issue.
So this is our new car, and we're going to use it to show you St. Martin, the island of 5 faces. This island is both French and Dutch. There is one of the largest cruise terminals in the world here, and yet you can live on a boat and never run into people. There's so much to show you next week about St. Martin. I can't wait.
Also, don't forget, we are still looking for a name for our dinghy. A name and also things you think we should do to customize this dinghy. So make sure you comment below and tell us your ideas for names and for things we should do to our dinghy. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.